Dear students, today we are going to study about our DAS experiment, experiment 10. So here we study about the propeller shaft, universal drawing and differential. Okay, these are the part of the transmission system. Okay, we call drive lines. So these are your apparatus, and let's move into this theory part. So this is the propeller shaft. Normally there's a tubular. Okay. So this propeller shaft have major three parts. Okay. This is a kind of shaft. There are three parts. First, shaft. The shaft means is a it is an appearance of tubular cross section. Okay, like a cylinder, and which normally withstand mainly the torsional loads. Okay, that means it transfer the torque or speed through the shaft. Mostly in the rear drives or front drives, it is transmit the torque or power from the gearbox to wheel drives. Okay. So it also has to be well balanced to avoid whirling. Whirling means that's turning or something, twisting at high speeds. Okay, so that is very important. So the second one is the universal drawing. So here these are the universal drawings. Okay, we study these things by animation. That is very clear for you. So what is universal drawing? And the slip joint. Okay, what is slip joint? Okay, first we see animation, then you can get a clear idea. So here you can see this is the propeller shaft. It's come the input. Okay, here there is output. That means this side differential or some other drive lines. Okay, this torque or power is come from the gearbox. Okay, this is the shaft, propeller shaft, and this is the slip joint, and there are two universal drawing. This is called universal drawing, that this is slip joint. So what is the purpose of this universal drawing and slip joint? So first of all, you just think there are a lot of things why the universal joint do. Sometimes this is the vehicle, in under here there is a propeller shaft. Sometimes we don't have a straight space, okay, to carry away this propeller shaft. Okay, so that time what can we do? Because for an example, just I think there are another parts here. Okay, another part. So we cannot carry away this propeller shaft into a straight direction. Okay, so that's why this universal drawing used. Okay, locate this propeller shaft in an inclined position. That means inclined position. Okay, so that is one of the thing. But the major thing is, you just think when a vehicle running the whatever the condition, that means the road condition, sometimes the rough road or everything, the vibration, the vehicles absorb the vibration. That time we cannot maintain this propeller shaft as a single one. What will happen? Sometimes it may broken. Okay, so here we need to maintain some kind of flexibility. So there's flexibility. So there are some universal drawings. So it auto adjusts the angle of the propeller shaft based on the suspension conditions. Okay, that is the second one. That's a major one. And the other thing, okay, the spline split joint. So this split joint mean we already studied the word spline. Okay, there's a thread. So this shaft, the part of this input shaft and output shaft move this direction along here, because of this okay slip joint. What will happen? We cannot adjust the length of the propeller shaft. Okay, so we can adjust up and down by these universal drawings and this direction by this slip joint. So now you can see how it works. So this input shaft, here we call this yoke, universal joint. There's a cross, those slip joint spine, output shaft and pinion gear, pinion bearing. Okay. So now you can see this is a straight line. Now the angle is changed, propeller shaft. I play again, you can see how it changed depend the vibration or stress and any other conditions. So now we can connect it with vehicle. So now you can see under the third condition, okay, how is auto adjust. Its adjust is still according to the third condition. Okay. Now I hope you got a clear introduction about the propeller shaft. Okay. So now widely in the automobile sector they use the Hooke's joint universal. Okay. The most of the universal joints used as a Hooke joint. Okay. Which is most widely used. Okay, what is the reason? It is simple and compact in construction and reasonably efficient at small angles of propeller shaft movement up and down, say up to 80 degree. That means the propeller shaft is degree is changed. Okay, sometimes this output shaft is going to downwards, sometimes it's going to upwards. Okay, so this is the degree we call. Okay. This is the 18 degree. The two axes of the shaft AB are intersecting. Okay, this is the input, this is the output. Both are intersecting by this. What is this? This universal joint. They told, but the axis of this cross is different. What mean the input shaft axis plane is if we take XX, but that output shaft axis is not same to XX. That is going to rotate in another plane. That means YY. What's that? Okay. So it's better to I saw a animation. So here you can see how it moves, the cross is how it rotates. You can see there are different planes. This output and input shaft is rotate different planes. Okay. So this is a yoke cross. Here this green color is connected. The yokes of input shaft is connected to green color and output is red color. So when is the straight motion, how is rotate? So and what is the input rotational speed and output rotational speed. It's rotated like this, okay? So that input rotational speed and output rotational speed are same, equal when the straight motion. But in the inclined motion, you can see, especially you can understand this input shaft, this green, okay? Green is rotates like this, okay? But this red is rotate this plane. So there are the two different planes because this direction is not same, okay? This is a inclined position, this is a, okay, it's a horizontal position. So these both shaft cannot rotate in a same axis. That's a simple thing. Now you can see the axis is different, okay? There are both axes, but there is a differentiation you can see here. The angle is going to change. That means in the input shaft is rotates the same angle, but the plane is not changed, but the gap between the input pin and output pin is going to change. How? Now you can see the different is, okay? The spinning axis is not changed. So if we not change the inclined position, okay, that we cannot change the angle of the output shaft, okay. However, we cannot manage this red pin is vertical. That means if we use like this, we cannot connect this output yokes, okay. So however, we cannot use like this, okay. That means this pin is output pin is going to use a inclined position, okay. Only in the 90 degrees these pins are connected here, the other part is not connected. So in the rotation is going to incline position of the angle. However, it rotates in the vertical direction, but it's going to rotate the inclined position. So here you can see, however, this green color pin is rotated. First this pin is like this, okay. Then its pin is achieve this here. So 90 degree. Then its pin is come to this side. So 180 degree. That is shown here, input angle of this, okay, of this pin. Here the output is, you can see, but when in the every 90 degree, that means, okay, you can see this is the input pin, okay, the cross pin, the input pin of this cross is rotated like this, but here the output is rotated like this, but in the every 90 degree, that means when it's like this, okay. So this is the input pin is rotated like this, okay, but this is the output pin is rotated like this. When it start here and its 90 degree is here, when it's 90 degree is, it can meet this plane, okay. You just think this is rotated as a x plane. This is a plane, is rotated through the x plane. This is rotated through the YY plane, but when it's come to this 90 degree, it meets the X plane. Every 90 degree it meets the X plane. Carefully watch this. It's come to rotate like this. When it's finished the 90 degree, it's come to this axis. Then it's come to this axis. Okay, clearly watch. You can see now it's 90 degree. Okay. Then it's come to, okay, now you can see, come to this axis. So on the angle, if we draw a graph between the input angle and output angle, this input angle is stable, okay, it's a constant, it's not, okay, it's gradually increased, okay, but what will happen, the output angle is not a constant, it's going to, in the every 90 angle is meet here is equal to the input angle, but this is not increase, it's not increased gradually, okay. So the angles are not same. So what happened to the input and output speed? Input, however, the input speed is not changed. Okay, it's a constant value. But what happened to the output speed? It's going to, it's an oscillation. It's going to increase and decrease and increase and decrease. So what is the limitations? Oh, disadvantage. You can see with input angle, the output shaft speed is not a constant value. So what is the disadvantage? If we use the universal joint, we cannot get the constant speed. So how we can use this type of universal joint in vehicle? We need a constant speed. Okay. So that's why we need another universal joint. So what will happen? So here that's we can get a fluctuating output. Then that fluctuating output is come to fluctuating input. Okay. Fluctuating input is then is working as a fluctuating input. So again is constant output. Okay. So double universal joint, we can get the same input speed as the output. Clear? So here this is a universal joint. So here there is a push. Okay, this cross is connected with a yoke by a push. So that's push. Normally then Cook's joint uses needle roller bearing. Okay. So what is the advantage of this bearing? The result is increase of joint efficiency. Okay. That's universal drawing. That if we use the needle roller bearing, it increase the efficiency of the universal joint. So the next thing we are going to study about the differential. Most of you already know these things. Okay. So what is differential and what are the main purpose of this? Let's see animation. So this is drive shaft and this is called differential. Okay, this differential is connected with the drive lines. So what is the main function of this differential is allow drive wheels to turn at different speed. So is allow the wheels to turn at different speeds. That means in this differential separate these drive lines. Okay, the drive lines works acts independently. Okay, so it maintains the different. This is omega 1, this is omega 2, different speed. So why? What is the reason for this different speed? Why we need the different speed? Just think when the vehicle is turn a curve line. Okay, so here this is the inner track, this is the outer track. You can see the distance of this track. Here this vehicle is moved to a small distance, here that is a very long. So how do we achieve this different distance in the same time? So we have to, this wheel we have to increase the speed of this wheel, okay, than this inner wheel. So what will happen? If we increase, we can manage the vehicle to this curve line. So otherwise, if these vehicles are rotates at the same speed, when we rotating turn our steering, what will happen? This vehicle is going to slip. Okay, to avoid this skidding, okay, the differential is used. Okay, so this wheel speed is high to maintain this track. So and the speed of left is higher than the right. So this differential is separate these drive lines and allow the left wheel as higher speed. So let's see what is there inside of this differential. Okay, how it works. So then left and right. So it's separated here. This right line is so N right and N are independent. So here first, so here we already studied the propeller shaft is here. So there's output shaft, end of this output shaft, there is a pinion gear. This pinion gear is connected with this ring gear. Okay. So this pinion gear is meshed with this ring here. So in the ring gear have extra, there is a spider gear. Here we call this a spider gear. So this spider gear can function under the two movements. Okay, there's two movements. That means it can rotate along this ring gear. Okay, so it's fixed here. So this spider gear is rotates along this ring gear. Moreover, this spider gear can spin in on its own axis. Okay, it can spin on its own axis. So there are two kind of motions it can produce. So this is the second spinning its own axis. So there are two side gears. These both side gears are meshed with that spider gear. So this side gear for right left wheel, this is for right wheel. So when this vehicle is moving in the straight motion, so what will happen? Okay, this pinion is rotated, this pinions, okay, power is transmitted to this ring gear. Then this spider gear is only have one rotation. That means it rotates along the ring gear, not it's rotate its own axis. So what will happen? It's only rotate along with the ring gear. So these both shafts are rotates at the same speed. When the vehicle is turning to this right direction, so that time we already know the left side wheels must be higher speed than the right wheel. So this time this spider gear rotates along with the ring gear. Moreover, it also rotates its own axis. This time it's produce two kind of motions. So this blue line is rotate along with the ring gear, and this green is spinning. So that is omega rotate, the omega spin. Now is connected with this side gear. So now how it achieved? So I already know. So there are the two. One rotation is like this. Clear? The other rotation is like this. Sorry, other rotation is the green. It's rotate like this. So there are two side gear. In this position, first we think about, however, this rotation is, we can, in this area, in this position, we can take like this, It's rotate like this and come here, this direction. So that time, is spinning like this. So it's spinning like this. So in this side is rotate like this and come to, it's rotate like this and come to this way. This side, the right side here, is rotate like this. So when it's going to here, this side. So this red arrow is the spinning. The green is rotates. However, the green of these both sides is rotate like this. The spider gear is along with the ring gear. So the green, however, the green is this direction. That means the direction of this rotation here correctly. The direction of spinning is the both side is rotate like this. So here the right side gear is is acted this side, and the left side is acted like this. So there are two motion. Here these two are green and red are same direction, but here is opposite. What happened? Here we can get the different. This is A, for example, this is A, this is B. So here we can get A minus B as a resultant. Here A plus B. Clear? So where the speed is high? Here A plus B. So this rotational speed is high. this side gear rotation speed is low. Okay. So that's why normally this spider gear is heart of this differential. Okay. Because of this spider gear, the beast rotation can be changed. These are the things, other two functions. That means first is speed reduction due to the high gear ratio. So here is working at the gear ratio. Because of the gear ratio, the speed reduction. Okay. So that is one of them. The main first thing is we study is maintain the different RPM. Okay. The both wheels is separate the both wheels and is maintain the different RPM when turning, or it's depend on the condition. So that second is speed reduction due to high gear ratio. The third one is it can transmit the power flow to the 90 degree. Okay, it can transmit the power to 90 degrees. So these type of differential we call the open differential. So what is the main drawback? What's the one drawback of this type of differential? That means the vehicle is running like this. This is a normal track, and here there is a slippery track. There is some oily or some surface, so slippage. So when this type of kind of surface, we cannot use this open differential. What will happen? Because of slippery phase, this open differential transmits send the power, maximum power to this right wheel. Okay. So when you turning the vehicle, that time the road should be same condition. If one side is slippery, if we turning the right side, this left wheel should be rotated at the high speed. But if it is in the slippery, okay, slippery track, what will happen? This most of the power transmitted to this right wheel, so the right wheel is going to rotate at the high speed. Okay. So to avoid this situation, there is another development of this differential. We can call that limited slip differential. Limited slip differential. So you already in the discussion part you have to describe what is the limited slip differential. Okay. What is the limited slip differential? So I don't teach anything. This is for your work. Okay. For your research. Okay. Same as you can find another animation in YouTube. What is limited slip differential? They will they explain very clearly, so you can get an clear idea what is limited slip differential, what is the parts, components of this differential, and how it works. Okay, you have to analyze and okay. You have to make some research, and here you mention about the limited slip differential. Okay. So these are the things you have to do. Here already we do complete these diagrams, everything suspense. So these are no need. Only this last thing, prepare the steps how to service a differential. That's very important. The differential have the oil, okay, differential oil. So you have to, and the universal joint, inside of the universal joints, they have a grease nipple. We have to, when the maintenance time, we have to check the grease level and we have to fill the grease, okay. So these type of service is very important. Okay. So this is very important. Only you have to complete this last part in, and the differential you can search in the internet or YouTube and any other books. Okay. You have to complete these things. This is the end of this practical. Thank you.